This photograph, taken in 1899, offers a glimpse into a deeply disturbing practice: the exhibition of indigenous peoples in human zoos. 11 Selknam, including an 8-year-old child, were taken from their homeland with the permission of the Chilean government. This was not an isolated incident. Between 1878 and 1900, Tehuelche, Selknam, and Kawascar people were shipped to Europe for this very purpose. These Patagonian Indians, as they were often labeled, were considered a rarity, a spectacle for European audiences. They were subjected to relentless scrutiny, photographed, measured, weighed, and forced to perform repeatedly throughout the day, sometimes 6 to 8 times. The care provided was often inadequate, leading to illness and death for many. Some perished before even reaching Europe. Others never saw their homeland again. The motivations behind these exhibitions are complex and unsettling. From a sociological perspective, the dominant narrative of the time positioned technologically advanced societies as superior. Cultures perceived as primitive were deemed lesser, justifying their exploitation and objectification. This pattern of behavior has, unfortunately, repeated itself throughout history. The Jutang Shu, or History of the Tang Dynasty, records instances of Black people brought to China by Arab traders, where they were used for amusement by the wealthy elite. Centuries later, a Chinese emperor's fascination with a giraffe brought from East Africa highlights the prevailing fascination with the exotic and other. The Selk'nam, originally inhabitants of Tierra del Fuego, meaning land of fire, so named by Europeans who observed their bonfires, were hunter-gatherers. Known for their height, strength, and resilience in a harsh environment, they held a deep connection to their land and traditions. Their culture emphasized personal adornment and elaborate body painting. The Hain, their initiation ceremony, was a pivotal moment in a young man's life. This secretive ritual, involving elaborate costumes and masked figures representing spirits, marked the transition to adulthood. These ceremonies emphasized the spiritual connection between the Selknam and their world. The Selknam people initially had minimal interaction with Spanish colonizers, but the Spanish killed their primary source of sustenance and used the land to create vast sheep ranches. These factors altered their ancestral traditions. The clash of cultures was inevitable. The Selknam, unfamiliar with the concept of private property, hunted the sheep, an act perceived as theft by the ranchers. This led to brutal reprisals, with armed groups hired to exterminate the Selknam, often collecting their ears as proof of the kill. The photograph of businessman Maurice Maitre, posing with a Selknam group at the 1889 Paris Universal Exhibition, starkly illustrates the power dynamics at play. Maitre's posture evokes the image of a lion tamer, highlighting the dehumanizing nature of these exhibitions. The decline of the Selknam population was precipitous. From an estimated 30,000 in 1896, their numbers dwindled to a mere 279 by 1919. By 1945, only 25 remained. Angela Loij, the last full-blooded Selknam, passed away in 1974. While individuals of partial Selknam ancestry may still exist, the tribe as a distinct cultural entity is extinct. UNESCO declared the Ona language extinct in 2010, its last speakers having passed away in the 1980s. This tragic story underscores the devastating consequences of colonialism and cultural exploitation. These tragic events did not occur in isolation. The Selknam people, like many indigenous groups around the world, faced systemic discrimination and violence. The encroachment of European settlers onto their ancestral lands disrupted their traditional way of life. The introduction of livestock, specifically sheep farming, created conflict. The Selknam, accustomed to hunting native fauna, did not recognize the concept of privately owned herds. Their hunting of sheep, seen as essential for survival, was interpreted by ranchers as theft, fueling a campaign of violent retribution. This was not merely a misunderstanding. It was a deliberate campaign of extermination disguised as a defense of property rights. The horrific practice of collecting the ears of slain Selknam as proof for bounty payments underscores the dehumanization they faced. This systematic violence decimated their population. The story of the Selknam is a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of cultural misunderstanding and unchecked greed. Their ceremonial costumes, once vibrant symbols of their rich spiritual life, became artifacts of a dying culture. The masks and body paint used in the Hain ceremony to represent spirits and mark the passage to adulthood became poignant reminders of a world irrevocably lost. The very act of documenting their traditions, while invaluable for preserving some fragments of their culture, also serves as a testament to its tragic demise. The images we see today, while offering a glimpse into their world, cannot fully capture the vibrancy and complexity of their lives. The rapid decline of the Selknam population is a chilling example of ethnocide. From a population estimated at 3,000 in 1896, documented by Alejandro Cañas, their numbers plummeted to a mere 279 by 1919, as recorded by Austrian ethnologist Martin Guzinde. By 1945, only 25 Selknam were counted by Salesian missionary Lorenzo Massa. The death of Angela Loij in 1974 marked the end of an era. The last full-blooded Selknam was gone. While some individuals with partial Selknam ancestry may remain, their unique cultural heritage, including the Ona language, has vanished. The Ona language, once spoken fluently across Tierra del Fuego, was silenced forever with the death of the last speakers in the 1980s, a fact confirmed by UNESCO in 2010. The story of the Selknam is a tragic testament to the devastating consequences of cultural clash, exploitation, and ultimately, genocide. It serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of understanding and respecting the diversity of human cultures. Their story demands that we confront the dark chapters of our past and strive to create a future where such atrocities are never repeated. The photographs from this era, though difficult to view, hold immense historical significance. They offer a window into a world on the brink of extinction, a world we can only now piece together through fragmented memories and surviving artifacts. They document not only the physical appearance of the Selknam, but also their resilience and dignity in the face of unimaginable adversity. The haunting expressions in their eyes speak volumes about their strength and the profound loss they endured. The images also capture the disturbing context of their captivity. The clothing they wear, often ill-fitting and foreign, highlights the forced assimilation they endured. The backdrops of these photographs, ranging from staged studio settings to the unfamiliar landscapes of European cities, underscore their displacement and alienation. These images are not mere anthropological curiosities. They are indictments of a system that enabled and profited from the exploitation of indigenous peoples. The act of displaying these photographs today carries a heavy responsibility. We must acknowledge the painful history they represent, a history of colonialism and cultural destruction. We must move beyond simply viewing these images as relics of a bygone era. Instead, we must engage with them critically, seeking to understand the complex power dynamics that led to the Selknam's tragic fate. By confronting this difficult history, we can learn valuable lessons about the importance of cultural preservation, human rights, and the devastating consequences of prejudice and indifference. The Selknam may be gone, but their story must not be forgotten. It serves as a cautionary tale and a powerful call for justice and understanding in a world still grappling with issues of cultural diversity and historical injustice.